list of students who've been in the system, been recipients, and if they haven't renewed, we get notified of that. And you know, students are very busy and they often don't fully understand all the pieces of financial aid, so we can reach out to them and say, you just got to renew this scholarship. And so Cy, who was Jennifer's counselor and has joined us today to see her again, had retired at that point, and so I offered to Carol that I would call Cy's, check on Cy's students. And so when I reached her, she reported that she had graduated, of course. That was a good conclusion, and she said, that scholarship made such a difference to me. If you ever need anyone to speak about. This was a year ago, and so I'll let you tell you her story. But so I did contact her. We'd already had our meeting at that point last year, but here she is today to tell her story. And having offered, I think that's great.
But I didn't actually expect that they would. When I met Cy, I grew up in Vermont, and I started college at CCV thinking I'd get some undergrad work done or my basic courses done fresh out of high school. My first semester I actually left halfway through it and said, you know what, college is not for me right now. I can't do it. I couldn't. So I moved to Florida. I said, I'm going to pack up my suitcase and off I go. So I moved to Florida and I lived there for about 6 years. And my mom was selling her house at the time and she was moving to Minnesota. So she said, hey, you can come back and you can raise your family in my home. And I said, who wouldn't want to raise their kids in Vermont? So I came back, didn't think twice about it. I had taken some courses down in Florida in criminal justice and commercial arts. And I said, well, I'll come back to Vermont, I'll pack up my children, and off I go. So single mom I became, with 4 children, trying to pay a mortgage, and without an education. I didn't have the background. And in my area, I live in the Northeast Kingdom, and there's not really much for an opportunity for a mom, single, with 4 children. So I went and I did some construction work. I utilized some of the programs through Vermont. There's one for construction, so I did that for a year, and then I did roofing for another year, and those jobs are pretty strenuous, and they're long hours, and with 4 small children under the age of 5, it was really difficult to do that. But I did, and I took 9 courses in addition to that, so that I could further my degree. And that's when I met Cy, and I learned about the PSE program, and so I applied for the post-secondary education program, and part of my application said, either you're going to give me the funding and you're going to approve me for this, or I'm just going to do it on my own. And Cy, in addition to that, offered me the Curtis Scholarship. He said he could put my name in. And lo and behold, I got accepted into the PSE program, and I got accepted into the Curtis Fund Scholarship. With those 2 things, I was able to transfer to Linden State College, finish my degree, and a year less than all of my other classmates. I was on the Dean's List every semester. I participated in the Leahy program, which is a step-up program for underprivileged children, low economic standing, to continue their education later on after high school, which was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I was able to be an AmeriCorps employee during my education there, and I worked on the bookmobile during the summer months and read books to small little children. And my degree was around special education. And the reason for that is because all of my children were all dyslexic. So, being a parent, I had no idea what to do. They were having troubles learning within the classroom, and so I decided, well, instead of just doing elementary ed, I'm going to focus on special ed. And in doing that, I have actually been hired in the district where my own children go to school, and also where I do my student teaching. And I was hired before I graduated college a year early. So I feel very privileged with the Curtis Fund Scholarship, and in addition to the PSE program that Cy was on the board of for that too. And I just feel blessed. I currently work in Sutton Village School, which is a small community with 100 children, K through 8. I started off the school year working with kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd as a special educator. Halfway through the year, we had a principal change and a special educator leave. So I picked up the opportunity and I started working with middle school, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Wow, what a change. And I have have this influence on these kids that I'm working with in 8th grade, and I'm transitioning them to high school, and what an impact I can make on them. And actually their graduation's this Friday, so I'm pat on the back, I'm excited. One of them told me that he had no aspirations for secondary education, and I convinced him in the short time that I've had him to actually become a game warden. So I explained the career path for that and what he needed to do and the expectations. And I have a game warden, Gregory, from the St. Johnsbury area. He's going to come on Friday and present him his award. So I'm excited to be able to contribute back to the society that I took from for so long. That's my story.